Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I am bringing you along as I make dinner 2 times this week, and they are both really great fall recipes. One of them is a tried and true recipe and the other is a brand new one. So let's get into the video. So for dinner tonight, I am having a tried and true recipe. This is the Pioneer Woman Bean with Bacon Soup. I've made this a couple times. It is super good. Highly recommend this. So I'm going to show you how I put it all together. So first off, in my multi-cooker, I am starting out by cooking up the bacon. I just have 12 ounces of center cut bacon. You just want to cook that up until it is nice and crispy, or until your desired doneness. Then you want to go ahead and remove that from the pan, and you want to drain off all the bacon grease. Then to that same pan, you're going to add in your vegetables. So I'm adding in 1 whole onion that I've diced up, 2 whole large carrots that have been peeled and diced, and 2 stalks of celery that have also been diced up. Now, since there's still a little bit of residual bacon grease in the pan, I am not going to add any other oil in here. Now you want to go ahead and cook those vegetables up until they're nice and softened. I'm going to season them with a little bit of sea salt and some pepper. So cook them for about 5 or 6 minutes. And then once they have been cooked through, go ahead and add in some garlic. So I'm adding in just a couple tablespoons of minced garlic. I never measure out my garlic. The recipe calls for 4 cloves of garlic minced. And I'm also adding in 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. Then you want to go ahead and just cook that for another minute or 2. Now go ahead and add your bacon back in with the vegetables, stir them around. And now you want to add in your Great Northern white beans, and you want to do a pound. Now, something I did off camera is I soaked the beans overnight. Then I drained them off in the morning, and then I put them in some fresh water, and I went ahead and gave them a hard boil for about an hour, and this was just to make sure that they would be nice and tender. The recipe does give another option on how to cook the beans, or you could just use canned beans too, so either one will work. So go ahead and add your beans to your vegetable and bacon mixture, and then you're going to add in 4 cups of chicken stock. I'm using the Better Than Bouillon reduced sodium chicken stock. And then at this point it does say to add a bay leaf, but I do not like the flavor of bay leaf, so I don't ever add them in. So just give it a good stir, and then you want to cook this on low for about 1.5 hours, just until your beans are nice and tender. Now if you're using canned beans, then you only have to cook it for maybe about 45 minutes just to make sure the flavors get all melded together. But make sure you also check the level of your liquid in your beans, because sometimes it will soak up more of that liquid, so you may need to add another cup of broth. I did not need to, but sometimes you may need to do that. So I went ahead and just brought mine up to a boil, and then I put the lid on there, and I'll let it simmer for about an hour and a half, and I will show you the result. So here it is all done. This ended up being 8 servings, and each serving is 4 Smart Points. It is really good. Highly recommend it. I will have the recipe linked in the description box. And for dinner tonight, I am making a new recipe. This is chicken stroganoff. I did alter the recipe a little bit. I'm going to add gnocchi instead of the egg noodles. I will have, though, the original recipe linked in the description box, so you can check that out. So here I'm just taking some chicken that I diced up, and I am adding it to my multi-cooker that has been heating up so it's nice and hot. To that, I'm going to add some spices. So I'm adding in some garlic powder, some onion powder, some paprika, just a little bit of cayenne pepper, and then some salt and pepper. And I don't ever measure my spices unless it's like baking stuff, so I'm just kind of sprinkling everything in here. But the recipe does have measurements, so if you want to measure them out, you can just look at the recipe. So now I'm just going to brown up all that chicken, and then once all sides are brown, you don't have to cook it through, just brown it for a few minutes, then go ahead and take it out of the pot. Now I'm adding in 1 teaspoon of avocado oil, and then to the pot I'm going to add in 1 entire package of mushrooms, which I think is 8 ounces, and then I am also adding in a white onion that I chopped up on meal prep day. It's about 1/2 of a big white onion, and then also to that I am adding a package of gnocchi. So this is a 12-ounce package of gnocchi. And then I'm just going to stir that around and cook them until they are nice and tender. And then I'm going to go ahead and add in some minced garlic. I'm just adding a couple teaspoons of minced garlic. And then I'm just going to continue to let the onions and stuff cook until the gnocchi gets a little bit of a crust on it, and also till the mushrooms are cooked down. And then meanwhile, I'm going to start getting my sauce ready. So I'm adding in 4 tablespoons of all-purpose flour to 2 cups of chicken stock. The recipe didn't have this step, but I know from experience that I like to mix my flour and my liquid together before putting it into the pot. That way there's just no lumps. So I'm just stirring that together really well until all the lumps are gone. So now once your vegetables are all cooked and your gnocchi has a nice little crust on there, I'm going to add in 4 tablespoons of I Can't Believe It's Not Butter Light. Then I'm just going to mix it all around until the butter gets all mixed throughout the entire pot. And then I'm going to add in my mixture of the chicken stock and the flour. And I'm just going to mix that all around. And then I'm going to add in about a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. So again, I don't really measure this, but I just added in about a tablespoon. And then I am mixing that around, and then I'm going to go ahead and add my chicken back in the pot. If your mixture is just a little bit thick, you can add some water or some more chicken stock. I ended up adding in, I didn't show it here, but I ended up adding in about a half of a cup of more chicken stock. And then I am going to bring that up to a boil and put the lid on there and just let it simmer. I probably let it simmer for about 10 minutes or so, just until the cooked chicken got completely cooked through. And then once all the chicken was cooked through, I went ahead and added in 1/3 of a cup of fat-free sour cream and stirred that in. And here you go. Here is the final product. You guys, this was so good. It was something definitely completely different than I've ever had before, and the gnocchi just made a great addition to it. But you could also just add in the egg noodles like the original recipe. So if you're not a gnocchi fan, you want to do the egg noodles, you can do that. So I definitely recommend this recipe. I will definitely be adding it to my rotation. Again, the original recipe will be in the description box. This turned out to be 5 servings, and it's 5 smart points per serving with the ingredients that I show in my video. So thank you for coming along with me as I made 2 quick and easy dinners this week. Let me know in the comment section if you tried either one of these or if you plan on trying them. And if you do, let me know what you think about them, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys!
Anywhere, anyway, I will love you. We rule the world, just you and I. To let me down, we walk the line. But none of things gone wrong. I take a shot for